What's going on, YouTube Gardener? It's your boy Sydney and
Tori.
from the Naked Garden. Mrs. Naked Garden flew in yesterday. We had a little bit delay. Her flight got a little bit delayed throughout the rain that we're having. But luckily, is right now is pretty good. And our friend from Rob Sapper from the Essayons Family Garden told us about the Buford Highway Farmers Market. So we're going to do a trip down to the farmers market there and kind of give our experience of the farmer markets in here in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. So let's get going. So our first trip, before we did any shopping, was going to the food court. Because why?
Because if we start shopping and we're hungry, we grab way too many things. And one of my favorite pastime things to do anyway before grocery shopping or shopping at a food place is to sit and eat and people watch. It's like a guilty little thing I like to do.
Yeah, so we're going to show you some of the food items that they had around the small little food court item there. I picked up, I think it was the Cuban pork sandwich, and you did the
kimchi sandwich.
the Korean barbecue sandwich.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
Getting something Korean. I'm gonna get this fish. Looks like it's
Shrimp.
that's what it looks like.
You don't like it because your mom used to make it a lot?
Yeah, and she really loved baklava, and I think it's nasty.
It's just too sweet. The time I was stationed in Korea, we made it one time. I took a cooking class and we made it, and it was just too
I think
sweet.
it's nasty.
It's all right. All right. After we ate, we decided to go look around. The first stop of the corner from the food court was like they had the Asian.
They had like this whole like liquor store
Yeah.
area that's all Asian.
Yeah, so you had your Japanese sake, your Korean soju, like a whole bunch of different items there.
Stuff I've never seen. And you used to live in Korea. Was any
I
of
was
that?
I was stationed in Korea, and so we had the authentic soju where it's unregulated. So one bottle could be like 80 proof, another bottle could be 90 proof, 100, another bottle could be, so it's not regulated.
Was any of it like for you because you were stationed there, lived there a period of time? like authentic to you looking at this store?
Oh yeah, some of it was pretty authentic. Some of it seemed very commercialized and everything. Uh, and then right around that corner, we saw like a different. They had Tupperware and cookware and dineware and stuff like
I
that.
would spend a lot of money, and I'm so glad I knew I was on my trip, and I just had my one bag to go back with because I would have been shopping.
Yeah, but when we got to this other side of it, was like I guess a Korean area where they had the sushi, the sashimi, whatever, however you say it, and then they had the sushi and the the kimchi. Wow, they just had amazing amount of kimchi, and then
I think that was a shared thing when we actually started dating and talking about food. Something we both love is Korean food, like sushi,
or Asian food, just food basically.
Kimchi, oh my gosh.
Now the only kimchi I didn't see in there, what I'm a fan of, is the cucumber kimchi. But they had some other kimchi.
They had some stuffed cucumber.
Yeah, cucumber pickled kimchi.
Yeah, it looked like it was stuffed with kimchi. So I'm like,
yeah. And then they had radish kimchi.
Yeah, they had like these different versions that I never knew existed. I would have loved if they would have had a setup in there to go in there and sample. Like I would have paid.
Oh yeah.
I would have paid $10 to go into a sample place there just to taste all of the different kimchis.
Next around the corner was the seafood market. Oh my Atlanta. Wow. There was a lot of seafood. They had basically seafood from fish with the heads on.
They had options you wouldn't even know existed. And
octopus.
If you're a foodie, this was a dream to walk into.
They had a lot of shellfish, conch. They had conch there.
Oh my gosh!
It was just amazing. And some of the fish was just beautiful. You would just basically almost hate to eat, and you just take a number and they call your name out from there. But it was amazing. All right, next around the corner from the seafood market was, I guess, what you call the butchery meat market area, where they had all sorts of type of meat products from there. What was one of the things that stood out to you over that area?
Well, in that area, all the different parts of a pig that you can get. And I'm a huge oxtail fan, and they had oxtails over there. And if you can ever get this guy to make some oxtail soup, it is the bomb. That's what turned me on to oxtail, was him cooking it, and it's now a thing for me. Any Caribbean, if it has oxtail, I'm gonna try it.
Every time we go to a Caribbean restaurant or a Jamaican restaurant, I always get the goat, because you can never find goat in any type of meat market. I didn't. Do you remember seeing any goat even at
No,
the?
there was a lot of lamb.
There was a lot of lamb. There was a lot of beef,
There was all kinds
pork.
of different cuts that you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And pork tongue.
Yeah, they had pork tongue there,
And
and
we were like, what? Because I've seen cow tongue, but I've never seen pork tongue.
yeah.
And what do you do? Can you comment down below what you do with pork tongue? Because I like to explore with food. I'm going to try to find a similar market. I don't know if I can in Texas.
Now they did have cow tongues there, and I remember Mom used to cook cow tongues almost all day, and she'll make some cow tongue sandwiches. But I mean,
It takes a long time to
Yeah.
get it soft.
well, same with the oxtail if you don't have a pressure cooker. But I mean, it was just an amazing plethora amount of. So we talked about the cow tongue, and then the pigs. The amount of stuff that they used for the pigs were endless. They had the pork, the pig snout, the pork belly, different types of bacon,
The hooves.
the hoof, the pigtails. I mean, just about everything from the rooter to the tutor. So it was. I mean, oh gosh.
For me, I know when I was like standing there and I was seeing not just pigs but other animals and every parts, it just made me think, because we plan on having a homestead, and I don't plan on being wasteful. Like, I want to figure out how to use every part. If we're gonna have animals that we are raising and feeding, I want to use every part
Yeah.
of the animal. So it's kind of neat to see like how they're doing it in a foreign kind of concept
Yeah.
in these places.
All right, next is the spices. Now, when Mrs. Naked Gardener and I first started dating, we went to the HEB food market. It's like the upper
Central
brand.
Market.
Oh, Central Market.
Yeah. And I gotta tell you guys, my favorite memory is he sees this habanero spice. He's like, I want to smell this.
No, it was jalapeno spice, and it was a rubbed or grounded jalapeno spice.
All I know is he wanted to inhale it. And I knew that wasn't very bright.
Well,
But
I
what
didn't know
happened?
it was that fine. Where if you took a whiff of it, it just caught me. It was like pepper spray, and I was just coughing. And,
I thought he was gonna die.
oh my goodness, it was horrible. I was probably coughing for like 5 minutes straight.
I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
Because it was not bright.
Mm-hmm. These spices, they had tons of spices and different things that we weren't even custom.
Tomato powder. Like,
Yeah.
There was like different, like all kinds of.
And it
different
was
spices.
very cheap too.
Yeah.
What else was another one that we Himalaya salt? They had Himalaya salt there.
Horseradish.
Yeah. Horseradish powder.
Like I didn't know that was a thing. Like I'm interested because I know next season I want it to grow some horseradish.
Yeah.
So like I'm interested in using it however I can.
So you'll see some of the spices that we've seen and everything. You'd be like, as like probably how we were, is like, oh wow, that's a amazing spices there that they have. So
You can get lost. Like I'm so glad that we weren't there like just
trying to
shopping.
yeah.
We were there to
Just-
see what they had.
Yeah, just to browse and do some window shopping.
Because
there.
that's
That could have been
overwhelming.
dangerous if we lived here.
Yeah.
Easily
We
spent a
would've-
lot of money.
Like we would have been so wasteful if we were there shopping.
I wouldn't say wasteful, but we would have spent a lot of money.
Yeah, but still wasteful.
Yeah. Next, we around the corner from there was the produce. That was main one of our main reasons going there, just to see a lot of the produce there, just to see what different cultures, what they normally grow, what they normally eat. Just seeing people just flock around there. What was some of the produce that kind of stood out to you?
Well, I mean, for me, just seeing all of the different cabbages that they had there, and finding my sunchokes was like that was fantastic because I've looked for years for those sunchokes. I've told him about them. I think he thought I was lying about it.
Yeah, because like when we first started dating, she will always tell me about these sunchokes and these artichokes and stuff like that. So she hooked me onto artichokes, but we could never find sunchokes. So we wound up finding the sunchokes there.
I always supplemented them for potatoes. I used to eat sunchokes a lot, and then it's like I met him, and they just like disappeared. They weren't in the stores.
Another thing I saw was people were. I never knew what the purpose of having bitter melon. I don't see the concept in it, but there was that celery root that I saw there that kind of stood out.
The ugly one that we see in Baker's Creek. Yeah, that you're talking about.
Yeah, celery.
Yeah,
is it celery root or celery root, whatever?
It's this really ugly root.
It's like an alien root.
Yeah. But they had it, and again, I wish that there were samples out. Like, I would totally pay to just go around and sample stuff, because it's such a waste of money to buy those things. Like, find out what you like.
Yeah. They had tons of eggplants there.
Oh, yeah, your thing.
And one of the eggplants that we're trying to grow this year was there.
The striped one, it's so
Yeah.
It is pretty.
And then
they had edible flowers.
Yeah, edible flowers.
I didn't know that I could eat marigolds.
Yeah, I knew about that.
You did, but I didn't.
And you could use the calendula. And now the one I didn't know about was pansies. That would be interesting. I guess you could put them in salads, I guess.
I don't know. I plan on growing a lot of flowers this year, so.
Yeah. What was some of the other things that stood out?
I want to say the peppers. Like they had a whole bunch of different, they had red jalapeno peppers.
And I'm gonna try to get some of those and try to harvest some of those seeds so we can. I want to see how spicy they are.
I'm probably after he packs up to come home, I'm gonna probably task him to go by there on his way home and bring home a lot of stuff. Yeah.
One of the things that kind of caught our eye was the bulk produce that they had. They had a big bag of eggplants and peppers and stuff for real dirt cheap.
My thinking on that is that it was, and it's really smart of them, is that they bulk price a bunch of them together, and I think that it's like stuff that's about to go bad, and they put it in this bin, and it's a lot, really cheap. And I was thinking, man, I would get that. I could make vegetable broth out of that stuff, or like a dish that night, or even for dehydrating,
or canning, or anything of that nature. It's been real good to use with. So
I was impressed by the price and the bulk.
So I wish a lot of grocery stores kind of did something like that. I mean, instead of just throwing them out and everything, but you know, it is what it is. Now, this is our first time seeing sugarcane sold in stores, and along with banana leaves. Mrs. Nicky Gardner was asking, what can you use banana leaves for? And I told her, you know, when Hawaiians, Samoans, whatever, different cultures, when they're roasting pig, they will wrap that meat or any type of meat into the banana leaves and just roast it underground. Just let it just basically cook in the ground. They put charcoals on it, sand, charcoal, sand on top of there, and just let it just baste in there for like over, I think, 24 hours, a certain amount of hours, days, and stuff like that. And that flavor just soaks into the meat from the banana leaves, soaks into that meat. But sugarcane, wow.
I've never seen sugar cane like sold like that ever.
Yeah, and it was a long piece, and it was
So
very
you're gonna stop by there, like that's gonna be
that
on the
one
list.
I'm pretty interested in trying.
That's on the list of things you gotta bring home with some kimchi.
I wonder if we can harvest that and continue grow. We'll search on that. If you know anything about that, comment down below. Let us know about the sugarcane portions. The next one was the different types of ginger that was there.
I didn't know that there were so many different types of ginger because we just did the organic
Regular old ginger that we thought was regular.
And we had a great harvest of our ginger.
Yeah,
We're about to actually do some more, but
yeah, but they had the regular
Thai?
organic Thai.
I don't remember the different ones, but specifically I knew of the Thai ginger and the organic ginger that I'm used to there, and there was more than that.
Yeah, there was like 3 to 5 different varieties of gingers that.
Again, I'd like to sit and taste them all because, like, I don't know. I need to talk to somebody at that store and just have like a visitor pass, sample pass, or something.
If aren't following us on Instagram, go ahead and follow us on Instagram so you can see what type of dish that Mrs. Nicky Gardner is going to cook for us on some of these. We're going to probably keep some of these and grow some along when we start doing our turmeric and ginger. We're going to add these to the mix there. Anything else?
No, I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted.
So I hope y'all like these videos. We're going to try to go to another farmers market here around the Atlanta area. We're going to try to look at some of these nurseries and stuff. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss an upload. Until the next video, let's grow together.